Tony from Sixth String Corner, and today I'm going to show you how to play Vital Signs. It's the last song on the Moving Pictures album by Rush. They've got a lot of famous songs. This one might be a little less known, but to you Rush nerds, you definitely know this song. It's a fun song to play. It really isn't terribly difficult if you can play bar chords really well. So that's the key. Tabs of this song is in the Sixth String Corner tab library down below. And without further ado, let's get on with it. This song requires a pretty good use of bar chords, so if you're not really great on bar chords, I suggest you kind of work on them a little bit because you really are going to need them for this song. Actually, a lot of Rush songs, Alex uses bar chords quite a bit. The song's in the key of C minor, and the chords that we're going to start with are C minor, which is up here. So this is up on the 8th fret here. We're playing this shape. This is the C minor bar chord. And then down here is an A flat major bar chord. Looks just like this. This is on the 4th fret. So we've got both of them here. So when the song kicks in, it's actually fading in. What Alex, I think, is using is a delay. It's a slapback delay. So he's actually playing, but you'll hear it sound like. So if you've got a delay and if you can time it right to the speed of the song, all you got to do is hit this, have a loud slapback come out, and even better if you're playing live and if you can do a stereo thing to have one on the right side, one on the left side. I know you can do all kinds of crazy stuff there, but it's just C minor. And then when the song kicks in, we start out with this. So where that's happening here on the bar chord is we're really only playing the top part of it. So I'm showing the bar chord shape, but if you want to get around that, you still got a bar stuff, but you can do it like this. But I like doing, it just feels right to me. But anyway, we're going back and forth between a C minor Now you got to watch for the timing on when those chords are being struck. If you look at the Sixth String Corner tab library, you'll see where those fit in, whether it's on a 2 and a 4 or a 1 and a 3. So you got to sort of keep an eye on that. It changes when he comes back around to it. But to begin with, it's like. So you go through that verse, and then you're going to play this riff here. Where that's played is on the 5th fret on the middle 2 strings, G string, D string, and then you're going to go on the 6th fret on the A string, and the 6th fret on the D string, and then back to the A string. And then you're going to end up over here on the 6th fret, which is the B flat note on the low E string. And then you're going to go up here to the C note, which is the 10th fret on the E string. And then you go. And then back and forth here between the, 6th fret on the A and the 10th fret on the 8th fret on the low E. And then you're going to play this time, you're going to play single note. It's just single notes here going between the 6th fret, 8th fret on the low E, and the 6th fret on the A string. Now what's happening here is when it first started, you're going to do this. Bum, 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 bum. All right? The only time it happens is the very beginning. All right, after that, thereon after, it's like this. In between all of that, there's different chordal progressions to play. The first one is this. It's this A flat. And it sounds it's more like a power chord. I don't think you're playing the full bar chord there, but it's the A flat, and then up here you're on the E flat. This is where your pointer finger's on the 6th fret over here on the A string. You're slowly playing that E flat bar power chord, really. And it sounds like he's just lifting these fingers up and just covering the bar here, which is on the 6th fret in the middle 2 string. And then you're back to the B flat. And then you play this, you go back to this lick, okay? So, just to recap that real quick, that's the first time. And you keep doing this now, this other way. And then you come up to this part. Alright, and then we're back to this again. And then it comes to this. So what we're doing here is we got a C minor, and then we're over here to the B flat. Notice there's stops in here too. Right, you hear those little stops. I'm doing that with the side of my hand. You can do that, and or just lift the fingers up off the fretboard but still touch the strings, just so you get that stop. And then there's a G minor here. So we had C minor, B flat major, G minor, A flat major, and then we have this called an A flat 6. And the way that's played is you got your little finger here on the 4th fret on the E string, you got your ring finger on the 3rd fret on the A string, and then the pointer finger's barring the remaining 4 strings over here on the 1st fret. All 6 strings. Alright, so that one, if you've never done it before, a little bit of stretch, a little bit of bar, but you should be able to handle that. And you got... Then you get to come into, I guess you'd call this the chorus. What he's doing here, they are full bar chords, but he will start on the lower string, the lower 3, and then do a stop on the higher 3. Right there, so that's the lower 3 strings on that C minor, and then he hits the higher 3, and then both times you have stops. C minor, and then B flat 2 times, and then to A flat major. And then you go back to C minor. So what you're playing there is a B flat major, G minor, and then an A flat major. And you come back and play it again. Same way. So after you play the C minor, kind of the same thing we did just a little bit earlier. You got a B flat, G minor, A flat major, and then this A flat 6 you can do twice. Let that ring out. Then you come to the second half of the song. So now Alex's rhythm changes a little bit. You start very first time, you're just going between the C minor and the A flat major, just like you did in the first verse. But in the second verse, the rhythm's different. So it starts with, right? Now you do this. All right, so 1, 2 on the C minor, on 2 on the A flat major, and then back to the C minor, ba-da, ba-da, right? And then watch your timing on this, because you go back to, right, just one time on the C minor and one time on the A major, and then repeat that. So coming back, when we start the verse, just like that, and then you go, and you go right into the C minor again, 1 time A flat, and you kind of repeat that pattern. If you get to the very, very, very end of that verse, you're coming into this part. Right? He kind of still plays that a second time. And then you're going to play back to this riff again. Now we're coming into where things are a little bit more dynamic. So now we're going to play the full out bar chord on the B flat. Kind of similar, it's just more open. Lower, high on the chord. And then you still do this lick. And then back to the B flat. Alright, and in the middle part, it's just the C minor to the B flat to the A flat, and it's a full out bar chord, all 6 strings. So C minor, B flat, A major, and then you go back and repeat. Alright, we did that earlier. Now we come into the chorus, a little bit different on the rhythm. The C minor is the same, where we're doing those lower high. And then when you go to the next 2 chords, the B flat, the A flat, it's full out. Right? You're going to hear that da-da, 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 da-da. Double the times on the B flat too. Alright, that part's the same that we did earlier, and then just repeat it. And then we finish it out with just like we finished the chorus, the first chorus. And then you kind of sit for a little bit, listen to the bass solo. And the finish is pretty simple. It's just watch your dynamics on this one. There's just the 3 chords, same 3 chords. You got the C minor, you got the B flat major, and the A flat major. To begin with, I think the first 4 times, it's just sort of you're hearing you roll through the strings a little bit, like that. A little dynamically, a little bit quiet. And that's just the lower, like the power chord part of the B flat, so the A flat and the B flat. And then back to, I think the second time in there, when he gets to C minor, at least on the recording, he actually upstrums that one. And then back to down strumming. So anyway, that's 4 times. And then the remaining times after that, it's much bigger and just big sounding. The foundation of that strum is low high. I should say low full chord. We're just hitting those lower strings, and then you hit all the strings. Very open, very dynamically up, loud.